Practice balls in your photos call. This is Photo Basics in 30 Days, a guide to jumpstart your photography journey. Day 8. Aperture. Those circles are bokeh, and you can control them with aperture. Yesterday we covered shutter speed, which essentially is how fast you take your photo. There is another way to control the amount of light that hits your camera, and that is with the aperture. You can control the aperture through this thing inside the lens called a diaphragm, which takes inspiration from nature. Let's see this with a practical example. Right now, I have this lens with the diaphragm quite a bit closed. As I open the aperture, the image gets brighter, but also things in the background and foreground get blurrier, which is, I'd say, the main effect of controlling aperture, changing the depth of field, which is a term that refers to the distance between the nearest and farthest objects that are in sharp focus. Right now, it's quite shallow, so if I'll move, I'll get out of focus. As the aperture closes, the depth of field becomes wider and more objects get in focus. Not quite as sharp, but you can certainly notice a difference. Now, while the shutter speed is measured in seconds, the aperture is measured in f-stops. These are based on an equation beyond the scope of these videos, but essentially, lower number means more open, meaning more light, meaning more blurry out of focus things, while higher number means less open, meaning less light, meaning less blurry out of focus elements. Since the diaphragm sits on the lens, the range of the closest to the most open aperture depends on your specific module, which often will state the lowest aperture on its module name. And generally speaking, the lower the aperture, the more expensive the lens could be, since not only this out-of-focus thing aesthetically pleasing to most people, having more available light through the aperture means you can shoot faster photos without them being too dark. And if you played with both the speed and aperture and still get too dark photos, it's time to look at the next exposure triangle value, ISO, which I'll cover in the next video, so make sure to follow!